毎度、カイ先輩なんですけれども、Happy New Year! 明けましておめでとうございます。Wow, that was the first time 初の明けましておめでとう。まあ、久しぶりにちょっと日本語使ってるから、これからよろしくお願いしますね。聞こえるでしょうかね。これから英語に、なんだろう、英語の設定にしないといけないから、これからよろしくお願いしますね。2026だからさ、これから英語を使わないと、英語喋れる人に、英語喋れるようになる、英語喋れるようになりたい人になりたかったら、まあ、やるしかないんじゃない？ So, let's switch gears right now.This is going to be the first thing that we're going to be doing 2026. So exciting. I prepared a little presentation for you, but don't forget, if you guys want to actually do a little Zoom with me, I have the Zoom camera waiting right there if you see it. So you can see my little studio here. But yeah, if you guys want to have a little conversation with me in English, because let's not forget all the comments that I get on my channel and people say a lot of things. So it's like, well, yeah, so let's say those things in English. Let's practice together. So if you guys want to hop on and you need somebody to talk to in English, go ahead and click that Zoom link and then we can have this live conversation, okay? So in the meantime, as we get prepared to turn on English mode, right? Because that's what we're doing right now. We don't need anybody else. We can actually begin to prepare ourselves for the things that we're going to be doing all in 2026. And we can do it right now. So that's what we're going to do together. And I'm looking forward to your guys' participation in this because seriously, it's 2026, guys. Like, when are you going to get it? When are you going to speak English, right? And you're going to do it by starting now. And that's it. Like, this isn't next week. It's not next month. It's 2026. So let's get at it. Cheers. Congratulations. I hope you had a happy new year. I hope, well, it's still New Year, right? So I hope you guys have relaxed, right? I think that's what everybody does in Japan. I don't know if you guys know, but in California, everything is kind of like nobody really cares. It's just another party day. You know what I mean? It's not like a big holiday. It's just like a fun holiday. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, it is now the 3rd of January. We're 3 days into this new year. And what are we going to do, right? We're going to like do the same thing we did last year unless we do something new. So you can do all the same things you did last year. You can watch all the same channels that you did last year. You can watch all the same YouTubers that you did last year. And is anything going to change? And it's not. The thing that you got to do this year that's different is to 100% focus on your own voice, your inner voice, to be honest. But until we get there, we gotta like focus this conversation because I think there's this like deeper conversation and then there's this like outer conversation, and both of them are really the same thing. It's like you getting your brain to actually switch into English and to have all these thoughts in English is the goal. So until you start thinking in English, you're going to be like, well, I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? But like, you don't even know how to ask the question because like you can't speak English yet, right? But the point is that when you start asking questions in English, then you're speaking English. And even if you don't understand everything, at least you're asking the questions in English. So as soon as you start to ask the questions in English, you're going to get better. So now, how we get even better than that is we just don't ask the questions in English. We start to ask the questions in accent. So we're getting better, right? Like we're not just learning or hearing language in English. We're being specific and we're hearing an accent now. So now we're going to tune our accent because like that's what you got to do. It's like a tune. You got to like listen and you got to like actually use your voice to do it. So basically the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tune our accent, all right? And then the next amazing thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk to 1,000 gaijin. And this is, I was thinking about the word, but I had to use the word gaijin because you could say like talk to 1,000 English speakers, right? But the thing that I'm noticing as I've been watching a lot of YouTube in Japan is that you guys like to watch Japanese people speak English. And, you know, like I get it. Like it kind of makes sense, right? Like you're like, well, if he can do it, I can do it, right? And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, technically, yeah, a Japanese person could speak English. I mean, anybody could, really, you know. But you're missing out on a lot of key influences, if you know what I mean, by just kind of taking somebody's word for it, if that makes any sense. Like, if you don't know anything about X, Y, or Z culture, and you ask a Japanese guy, I mean, yeah, maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But if you like talk to like, I don't know, 1,000 Italian people, you might have a good idea of what Italian people are all about. And I say Italian people because I've only talked to 2 or 3 or 4, you know, like I haven't talked to a lot of Italians. I've talked to maybe British people or German people, right? But like, I've talked to 1,000 gaijin. 違うか。それでまあ外人を区別するの才能ってまあなんだろうね、経験があればね、そんな難しくないと思うんですけれどもね。だってイタリア英語の訛りマリオみたいな喋り方あるから、やっぱりアクセントになんかチューニングしないといけないですね。それでまあイギリス人かタイ人かね、みんななんかチューンがあるから、まあ俺その1000人の外人って外国人と話したことあるから区別できるし、まあなんだろう、一応真似できるじゃない？なんだろうね、だってイギリス英語喋れるわけないじゃん俺。でもなんかビートルズの、動画とか聞けばね、なんかもう俺もそういう喋り方もできますよね。一切なんだろう、言ったことないのにね。だからなんだろうね、もう我々は人間じゃないのって感じ。誰でもできるんじゃないのって感じ。でもどうやってできるかって、まあ1000人と話せばね、まあいろいろ分かってくると思うんですよね。なんだろうね、自然の道ってなんか自動道って感じ。まあただ歩くだけで上達するって感じですね。正しく歩けばね。でもまあ教科書とかね、学校とか、YouTube チャンネルとか、なんだろうね、それを見てるからなんか上達しないよね。まあ I don't want to be too like harsh on anybody here on YouTube because I get it. I watch YouTube too. I watch a lot of science. I watch how to do YouTube, if that makes any sense. So we all have our favorite kind of teachers and kind of like influencers that we watch, right? But what I'm saying to you guys is you got to get off the internet and you got to talk to people in reality. Like you have to do it. And so, I don't know, like for me to set up this kind of like cool, like, how do you say, digital world, for lack of a better word, you know, like I can do it and it's cool and it's fun and it's like, oh, cool video production, right? But the whole point of like what I'm doing, besides like the bad kind of audio visual production that I'm doing right here, is like I'm trying to communicate with you so that you like actually have experience with like the real deal kind of like grade A California English, you know? So like as best as I understand it, right? But then even then, that's like, you know, layer one, right? Like just like mimic somebody that speaks Californian. But then two, hopefully I'm giving you the tools to go out there and actually meet real people and talk to them and like actually pay attention on how to tune your accent. And so basically part of the tools is, well, a dictionary, because like that's the only thing that really taught me when I was at a pinch, you know, because after a while, you know, after you've learned a few phrases and, you know, chapter 15, right? You're like, okay, let me go out into the real world. Let me see if I can talk to people. And sure enough, you're going to have problems. But like, man, if you only had a dictionary, you could get through the conversation, right? Because it's like, man, 交渉って何？交渉ってなんだろうね。こうお願いして、いや、違うよ、みたいな。まあ、なんだろうね、交渉って。ね。辞書がないとまあこういう言い方はいかがでしょうかって感じですね。まあ so if you just had a dictionary, then like, oh, you could like learn so much. So anyway, I can only give you guys so many digital tools because what's really going to teach you, like I said, is getting out into the real world and talking to actual people, like real fucking people, not digital copies or digital representations of anything. If you're looking at a monitor and if you're looking at a screen, you're literally doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. So, take a breath. Like, think about 2026, like how often you're staring at a screen, and then think like, well, is this a conversation with the real person? Now, that's why a lot of podcasts are kind of popular, I think, is because you get that conversation feel with whatever subject that you're actually focusing on any given subject, right? Like in it, you know, like any within the niche or the genre, right? So, you know, listening to podcasts could be really cool just in general, but it's still not conversation, right? Like there's a brain muscle or something, you know, like a brain function that requires some sort of input. And then the brain has to like get confused by the situation. And then the brain needs to like noises so that the surrounding people comprehend and assist or, you know, kind of like help in a way. Because like if we didn't need to communicate and there was no questions to be asked, and then everybody could see what you could see, then like what's there to kind of talk about? You know what I mean? But when you get into this, well, I got to convince you of something that you don't see yet. Now it becomes really important for me to choose my words carefully because I really want you to understand what I'm saying, even though I'm talking normally to you, right? Like, 本当にね、俺、日本語で説明しても意味なくない？ね。だって君は英語で考えないといけないんじゃない？違うか？誰か困ったら俺じゃないよね。俺だって英語で喋ってるから普通に。もし君が困ってったら、わかんないみたいな感じ？じゃあ実証使ってくださいね。そんななんか難しくないよね。こういう勉強方法って感じね。誰かの英語を聞いて、まあ誰かと話してなんか言って、で何かわからない単語とかフレーズがあればね、なんかまあ辞書を調べるだけだよね。で、なるほどみたいなね、勉強になって、単語入れて単語帳みたいな、 ね、勉強して、まあ、上達するということですね。So, what do you guys think? Like 2026, you know, it's like, okay, we've only been into this like lesson for 15 minutes. And then you got to think to yourself, like, okay, I got to do this like all the time. That's like one of the secret kind of like layers of all of this is that like time is definitely part of what you got to do. And what you got to do is like the third step here, and that's mimic winners, but with the consistency, right? So you talk to 1,000 foreigners, you're tuning your accent as you meet people, you're mimicking the winners, all right? And the winners are whoever you think. You know, if you talk to somebody, you have a friend, and you think that friend is cool, then go ahead and mimic him, you know, or her. It's not complicated, but if you think like there's some sort of like movie star or rock star or an actor or actress or whoever, right? Scientist, doesn't matter. And you think they're a winner, you think they're cool, go ahead and mimic them. Know what I mean? It's that easy. But you could mimic people that you meet online, in a sense, right? Like some video. But it's better to mimic people that you meet in reality, just so you kind of know what's real or not, you know? Like I saw this show, like everybody's based in Canada, and like I can't tell if it's fake or not because the accent is so strange. Like I don't believe it. Like I've never heard that level of like Canadian accent before. So, like I don't know. It feels fake. You know what I mean? So if like I talk like it feels like that I'm just making it up. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't feel real. But then again, it could be real because I have met a real like East Coast Canadian before, and we were like off-roading in the mountains, which, you know, apparently is a Canadian thing as well as an American thing, you know. Like, you know, got a bond with our brothers up there in the north, you know what I mean? And but his accent was really strange, and I don't think I could mimic it. It was so strange. Man, what did he say? He get like views upon views or like, man, I can't do it. But the point is that like you want to mimic winners. Now, not to say that Canadian English is not a winning accent, but you know, I've learned that my accent is pretty good as it is. So, you know, don't need to reinvent the wheel twice, you know what I mean? So, but for you, you know, who's the winners in your life? You know, like, do you have a friend of a friend? Do you work with somebody? Like, who do you know in real life that's like actually a winner? You know, like actually doing things, actually building things, actually creating things. I don't know. What do you think a winner is? Who's a winner? Like, what? You know, like, oh, I know a guy. He got a job at a company. Like, is he a winner? You know, like, is that, maybe it is, because a lot of people, you know, I can understand, like, especially if you like immigrated from another country, for example, and like, let's just say nobody in your family has ever been to college, and like you're the first one to go to college and get a job at a corporation. That would be a pretty big like step for you personally and your family, and that's cool. Like, I get why people have certain goals in life, but like, it's up to you to kind of determine what a winner is, right? Like, I look at other people doing YouTube, and I don't think they're necessarily a winner just because they have more like views than me, for example. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't want to be doing like the same thing over and over, even though in a weird way you have to do the same thing over and over. It's just kind of like coming at it from a different angle every single time, because you got to sharpen and polish and mimic your accent, and you got to mimic the way that you do things based on the winning strategies of other people. So, you know, I think we can get to the meta level now because everybody's learning, right? Everybody's always working on something. And to be honest, I'm working with content creation. If you guys haven't figured that out, like, let's talk about it, right? Because at the end of the day, this is seriously for you guys. You know what I mean? Oh, and we have somebody there. I didn't even see it. Sorry, I got so into the flow of my presentation. So it is for you guys. So I do want to say hi. I want you guys to participate. I want you guys to say hi, hello, howdy, all those kind of things. So, ポケちゃんさんが大好き。What? ポケギャンさん。ポケモン大好き。サトシン、サトシゲ。サトシゲ。Oh, that's your name. I'm like, why are you saying that over and over? はい。明けましておめでとうございますね。すみませんね。じゃあ、ポケベル。ポケベルさん。よろしくお願いします。長くて、しかもね、カタカナなんか読みづらいよね。なんだろうね。絶対なんか外国の単語になっちゃうね。特になんかフランス語的なカタカナ、イタリア語の、カタカナの単語ね。なんか、そういうなんだろうね。アタリエヒルズみたいな、あるんじゃないですか。まあ。だからポケベルさんね。What's up? 今年もよろしくお願いしますね。すいませんね。なんか日本語めっちゃ錆びてるよね。いやー、恥ずかしいぐらいですね。今年もよろしくお願いします。だってね、そうですね。やっぱ、そうですね。それもなんだろう。日本語で考えても、英語で考えても別にいいんだけど、なんだろうね。アメリカにいるから、どうしようと思っちゃうよね。なんか日本に行ったら、いろんな撮影できると思うんだけどね。いろんな人とインタビューしたりね。いろんな田舎のところ行ったりさ。でもこっちからね、撮影すると、なんだろうねって感じですね。なんか言語に関して、まあ、こういうホワイトボード的なね。でも、なんだろう、ストリートインタビューとか、なんだろう、わからん。アメリカから撮影すると、わからん。まあ。Hey, it's Shinji. What's going on? Welcome to the show. And then Happy New Year. Who's your winner? Right? So I was going into the meta conversation. And the meta conversation is that, I'm not like learning English, right? So, you can't really, who am I trying to sound like, But what I am trying to do is be myself. So there is a point, and this is kind of like シュワちゃんのレベルなんですけれども、So, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about, like, at first, his English was really bad. And he admits it, he knows it. Like, his first movie was like Hercules or something, and they had to, like, dub his voiceover with a voice actor because his accent was so bad. Nobody could understand it. But Shua-chan is kind of like a competitor, so he realized he just needed to improve his accent, and he did the training. He took courses. He did like tongue twisters and stuff like that, and then basically he improved. But he said it's still good just to have a little bit of your original home country native language accent, just for a little flavor and unique character and something that's kind of signature. So now if you talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though I'm doing like an Austrian accent. Like people like, oh, you're talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So because it's signature to him, because that's how he talked, and it was in that unique, kind of like not quite American, but not quite, unintelligible. So he became himself. So he is now mimicking nobody, right? He's becoming a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but unique to only him and nobody else really at that time. So for me, as I watch other YouTubers, I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. And I like that. Like I watch one guy and I see how he's making content and he's just like, oh my God, cranking out content over and over again, like day after day. He's just cranking out content. Alex Hormozy, but he has a team and he's got a machine and he's got like a company. You know what I mean? I'm just like a normal dude from California who's just like trying to share kind of like this kind of like accent kind of like thing where all you got to do is mimic people, and like if you only learn the American accent, you would just learn so much faster. You know what I mean? So so like Alex Hormozy, like I'm watching how he just creates long form content and then makes a bunch of short content, right? I'm watching this like psychology guy that talks about men and women's relationships, and he just writes a book and then he kind of basically just reads from his book. So like, I don't know, like I'm just like looking at people right now and I'm mimicking a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? Like before, like when I was making videos, I was kind of mimicking Mr. Beast, but then not really, because like I'm not doing like competitions really, but like there is that ranking system that's involved, right? So like, I'm like taking bits and pieces of it all and I'm trying to find my own kind of like voice in all this, you know what I mean? But like, honestly, really honestly, like there's only so many things that I can do, you know what I mean? Like, it's like when you learn a skill, right? Like, 例えば外国語 it's not just enough, just because you speak another language doesn't mean you have like a skill. It's like everybody speaks English, right? So what? You need English and a skill, like knowledge on how to do something, for example. And then you can combine skills and it becomes like unique expression of yourself, right? So as I'm learning to become myself in a digital manner, I ask of you guys just to become yourself in reality, like create a voice that you feel comfortable with, that's like understood by most gaijin, whatever that means, but it's still unique to who you are, where you came from, but it's like you don't have to speak Japanese English because I am from Japan. I must speak like this because the truth is, and it's like, okay, you can do that, and nobody's saying you can't. I just literally am saying that you have choices if you just become aware of them. And this is why here we are, me saying the same thing over and over again, because I'm very aware that the majority of Japanese people, like millions of you, are not aware of certain basic things. And so I'm going to have to say certain basic things over and over and over again until like, oh, everybody gets how to do it, like this is the path, and it does not involve schools. Like if everybody was kind of like listening to how I kind of like learn a second language, nobody would be going to schools anymore. Nobody would be getting lessons anymore. Like the entire industry would shift, because once you learn a language, you don't need to go back to school, like you graduate and you move on. Like I do not take Japanese lessons. Should I? Of course, and then I would improve, right? But do I need to? You tell me, right? Like, as I talk to more people, I will learn that maybe I should work on it, you know? But that's what feedback gets you. I mean, まあ留学した時のヤンキーね、まあ腹立ったって感じね。でもまあしょうがないよね。だってこの外人何言っとるか分からへん、全く分からへんみたいなね言われて、まあしょうがないよね。Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we all have those experiences, but then they motivate you to get better and improve, right? So just because, you know, I point out something about your accent doesn't mean I'm like picking on you. It means I'm just saying that this is how we actually say it. You know what I'm saying? It's like not even the way, like even like textbook teachers, you know, be like accental accent, right? But like they don't see, it's like accent, but the way we say it in reality is without the T, right? Accent. So, you know, even teachers aren't teaching you the real English, you know? So it's just like this, like big, like muddy, like I don't even want to say lake because it's just like so muddy, you know? More like a ditch. Like there's no clarity in any of the language instruction in Japan, you know? No clarity whatsoever. And it's just like, okay, everybody, you guys could like all improve in 1 month if you literally just like listen, you know? So I don't know. That leaves me with like a weird burden, I suppose. It's like getting the message out to millions of people is this weird kind of complicated thing where it's like, well, do you have something visually attractive? You know, do you have some sort of animation? Do you have some sort of like, I don't know, cool location? I mean, do you have some sort of like AI tool? You know what I mean? Like, what's it take to get people to like literally listen? And podcasts definitely are one of those things where people literally listen. So I get it. Like, cool. But I don't know. I just, for me, it's like I'm doing video, I guess. And so it's like we just don't want to do a podcast. We want to do video and we want to listen, right? Because you got to, well, look at people's faces and stuff like that. Because like that's like learning visual cues is like super important, like in how you communicate. So like if you are going to look at anything, it shouldn't be like the letters and stuff. It should be like the human face, so you can see like eye contact and like the smirk and like the frown and like all that, right? You want to get that visual information and you want to read faces and not letters, basically. So anyway, can you show your students here and how the accent is improved? Yeah, you know, if we could hop on. So one of the, you can see like the video on the app, for example. I'm not going to bring it up now, but oh wait, here, I'll show you though. I guess I could bring it up now because you asked. So here we are. So here we go. Let's go here and we go here. And I believe if it's like you watch one of these videos right here that you see on it, I think it's this course right here where I talk about things, right? But yeah. Like if you watch that video there, I think it has some little testimonial things in there, because one of the things that I have noticed with teaching Japanese people for so long, for many, many years now, is people are shy. 違うか? So, getting people to like literally mimic what I'm saying, like you just like see like people really struggle when I first show them, because a lot of times what I'm saying, like, it's like you kind of got to forget everything else that you've been taught and like, here, just like, don't think, mimic me. Ready? When are you going to get it? And that mimicking thing is just not polished enough. You know what I mean? It's not like strong enough yet. So a lot of people really freak out when I ask them to say it for the first time. So the polishing part is super important, right? And then there's kind of like that, like, yeah, well, if you do like a lesson, you have like your teacher come in and check it, right? Like week after week, right? So like you'll see in the video, right? Like I have my students, but like I was going like week after week to make sure, hey, did you listen to the course, right? And so there is a part of like doing something where it's like, yeah, you gotta like commit to it by yourself. But it's like, if you need me to make you listen to the course, right, then it's just like, well, I can't help you there, right? So yeah, but anyway, getting like week after week improvement kind of thing, that's a really good, like, it would be a great documentary, for example. But yeah, coordinating that and shooting it is like not just like I haven't even thought about that. So, yeah, be interesting, right? Do like a documentary, right? But anyway, yeah, if you watch the video there, I have like the one, because like I said, it took week after week of doing it to like, oh wait, how do I even capture this, right? Like I don't know, it's like a weird thing to think, like hearing your students successful without the camera, right? Like for me is like normal, right? I remember like one of my first students that when I was teaching the whole video, right? Like I think it was like, what'd you do last week or something, I said, and he understood me. And I'm like, wait, like how did you, we hadn't talked about like that yet. And he's like, oh, I heard your course. Like I was listening to your course. I was like, holy shit. Like you can learn, like it just, even though I made the course, right, it just didn't dawn on me that like you can listen to the thing and learn it and I don't have to say it. Like it was so amazing, because up till that point I was used to teaching everything one-on-one. So I teach every phrase, what are you doing? What are you going to do? What you do, week after week, right? But yeah, so that was super crazy. Like you just listen to the course, get the CD or whatever, MP3, and just like improve. Like, and if you do it, you get better, right? But then, like I said, getting the camera evidence, right? That's just like, okay, who's motivated enough to like film themselves do it, right? Like I had a private student in Texas once and we did phone conversations, and like it was enough. Like that's all you need. Like a phone call is all you need to be able to like listen and mimic and like improve, right? But anyway, like I wanted to get like a testimony from him, and he kind of like balked, like, and I think that there was like a kind of like, oh, I'm embarrassed to show that I'm getting English practice, even though, I'm a businessman in America. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, well, no. Yeah, I mean, because he didn't say that, but I'm guessing that's kind of like maybe the reason why he didn't want to like give video of like him. So anyway, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard, to get like in the wild, like evidence, right? Because like it's all in a sense scripted from my vantage point, because I go out, mic everything up, set up a calendar. Yeah, so I think if I'm living in Japan, it'll be way easier to set something like that up. So yeah, look forward to it. But in the meantime, unless I do like another I met up with somebody once. I wonder where he's at. So yeah, that's the thing, like collaborating with people, because it's like there's like people that do want to make content, but like, do you want to make like one-off content? You want to make a series? There's so many different ways to like think about like doing things that it's just like, because like if you look at like one of the other channels, I'm not even going to mention who, like, because like there's usually like two people, right? There's like the teacher one, and then there's like the, hey, how do you say this, right? I could do so much more if I had like a kohai, maybe have like a sock puppet, like, Kai senpai, 教えてください. What do you want to learn? Boy no chigai wakanai. See, I don't know how to do, like, I can't do that. Sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. It's not a puppet. So, yeah. See, it's like mimicking a hand, mimic the hand. That's not how you learn English. Like, okay, like I'm not going to mimic the hand anymore. That's it. Like, seriously, mimic humans. That's the whole point. And if you make me do a puppet show, well, then basically I think I'd have to start a kids program, like kind of literally. So we're not going to do that. Anyway, accents are a problem, but pauses for translation in my brain is very annoying when I record my voice. Yeah, you got to get used to it. That there's no way around it. So, that's why basically scripting is a good thing to do. So what you do is you try to type or write whatever's faster for you. So if you can type, just type. If you're faster at writing with your hand, just write it. But script what you want to say in English. For example, just think of like the most perfect self-introduction that you can possibly do, right? Like, hey, my name is Kai Senpai, and I teach Japanese people how to speak California English. You see how I paused, right? Because I didn't have it memorized, right? So then you just basically say it again, hey, I'm Kai Senpai, and I teach Japanese people how to speak with a California accent, right? So then you just basically learn your line, and then you just say it. So think of like what you'd want to say in a conversation, right? And then every time you have that, ちょっとわかんない, well, then write it out. Like, learn it by yourself. Like, oh, this is what I wanted to say. And then just learn what the sentence is. Like, it's so much different when you're freestyling like I am. Like, 日本語でも英語でも即興的に喋れるからね。このレベルになりたかったら、じゃあ、一日中やってよって感じですね。なんかもう、英語からまた日本語で、日本語からまた英語になっちゃったらね、コードスイッチングばっかりやっちゃうと、もうほんまにね、どっちも上達できへんやん。Okay, am I like getting too... You gotta focus on one. So every time you like feel yourself switching back into Japanese, you stop and you consciously figure out, じゃあこれ日本語で言いたかったよね。こういう風に言いたかったよね。今考えてたの。英語で言いたかったけどわからなくて、日本語で考えちゃうと、これを言いたかったよな。じゃあこのフレーズを英語にしましょうって感じ。で、それを検索して、辞書を調べて、先輩に聞いて、アメリカ英語の一番、キャリフォルニア英語の一番自然な言い方ありますかみたいな。日本語で言うと、これなんですけれども、明けましておめでとう。英語で言うと、いや、誰も言わないんじゃないですか。just, hey, Happy New Year. なんかそういう気をつけなくていいよね、みたいな。先輩に聞いて、わかった。はい。じゃあ、Hey, Happy New Year. See, you don't have to overthink it once you kind of go through all the little nuts and bolts and the details in your head, right? So, yeah, like, one of the best ways that you practice is by talking about something that you're always talking about. So, and then you just keep saying it over and over again until you say it without hiccups, right? So, for example, I learned that when you teach something, teaching in threes is very effective for transmitting ideas to students so that they remember. I've never said that really a lot because I don't talk about the psychology behind teaching too much because I'm busy teaching accent. But when you want somebody to remember something, 3 things is all you need. 3 things are all you need, right? See, there's so many details, right? And you get so overwhelmed with all of the details that I can't possibly begin to describe each and every single issue to every single person on the planet, right? But when you just focus on the thing that you want to say, and that's it, nothing more, nothing less, then all you got to do is just figure out your paragraph, like how long could you talk in English? Go. And I look at my thing and it's 47 minutes. And it's okay, I've just started and I could probably talk all day and I would not stop because I can do that. 日本語でも英語でもね。日本語の方ね、疲れちゃう。そういう久しぶりに日本行って、もう朝から夜までみたいな日本語をどうも久しぶり。疲れちゃうよね。それありますよね。そういう夜になっちゃって、いや、I'm sorry. I'm just gonna think in English. I'm over it って感じ。そういう気持ちわかるよ。母国語、やっぱ母国語やからね。よしよしみたいな感じですね。でもそれ、しょうがないよね。ほら、だから、こうやって日本語モードになっちゃうと、無意識的に、日本語で説明しないとダメ。ずっと、最後まで、終了まで。でも、これは英語のレッスンだからすいません。カイ先輩、日本語喋れるよね、喋れないか、そういうもう関係ないんじゃないのって、いつもだってカイ先輩の日本語おかしいからさって言われるからさ、じゃあ英語で言って、違うか。Anyway, so hopefully nothing to prove, right, on that end. Because, it is fun to talk in Japanese, I'm not going to lie. But again, the thing that you want to say, right? Well, pick a subject that you want to talk about and just talk about it. And then, get good at talking about it. If you want to talk about the Beatles, right? Then you just talk about the Beatles, right? Because obviously they're the most raddest band on the planet ever. Not debatable. Right? Okay. But then you just say the things you want to say, the White Album is the greatest rock album ever. I would say that Sgt. Pepper's might be the greatest album ever, but there are things to be discussed within the the Beatles, discography, but we can have that conversation if you want to have that conversation. Just saying that what are the things that you want to talk about? And then literally make a paragraph, Who is the best Japanese English speaker in your opinion? Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe. You mean 日本生まれの、English speaker, right? Because obviously you can't say that if they're born in America, right? It just doesn't make sense. But if you mean somebody that was raised in Japan and then speaks English, right? Like that would be, well, because you got to look at, so, I mean, honestly, by that definition, koki and kokomi, like, were raised in Japan. And so, you know, if you have the money, like, it's possible, you know? And that money is just access to native speakers all day. And not just native speakers, but like qualified teachers of like math and grammar and history, you know what I mean? So they're just paying for the access to like, you know, I mean, to be honest, like any public school in America just has teachers that speak English, you know what I mean? So it's like, they're just paying for the access. That's it. So if you have the money, there you go. Just send your kids to a private school. But for those Japanese people that have not gone to a school, you know, like a private school like that, there's like a handful of people, right? But it's hard to say because like if I really think about it, there's not a lot of content out there. Like it's like people like Suzuki Ryohei will have a few interviews, right? And he does speak English pretty good, but they're just a few. It's not like, you know, time after time, you know, month after month or year after year is just like another English interview, right? So it's like he does sound good, or, you know, like he's got a good accent, right? It's just not a lot of content, right? But then if you look at like Sanada-san, Hiroyuki dakke Sanada-san, there's a lot of clips of him speaking English. And does he have perfect American English? No, but he's a Hollywood producer. So, like, do you think he's communicating effectively? And, you know, with his, like, coworkers? And the way he's talking in the interviews, he does know how to speak Hollywood. He knows how to talk filmmaking. So, my guess is that he's speaking English with a lot of people. And that's pretty good. And if, you know, like using your language to do your dream job isn't the best, I don't know what is, right? So his accent, yeah, whatever, but he's just day after day, you know, speaking English, being a Hollywood producer, like, sounds like the best, right? So it really does. You got to like clarify what you mean by what's the best, right? Because Sanada-san makes a very good case for being the best, because Hollywood producer is his job. So he must be effective with English and communicating the Japanese, you know, spirit as they film, you know, because like I've heard him talk about that, right? How he's kind of like the master of Japanese essence in filmmaking right now these days. So, you know, dream job for somebody maybe? I don't know. So yeah. Kono Taro, which one is he? He's like the politician, right? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, right? And I forget about the politicians because those videos never do as well as the celebrities, you know what I mean? So I forget to include them in my thinking a lot of times, but yeah. That's a good example. But then again, he did experience, I think, like exchange, or he lived in, no, I think he's 帰国子女って感じじゃない彼は。He lived in California for a little bit, I think. So, but even then, この太郎, yeah, I mean, that's like an ideal version, I'd say, of somebody that learned English as like a teenager and adult, right? That speaks, fairly fluently. Fluently, from what I remember, right? But yeah, like I was saying, like the politicians video, they're not as popular as the actors and the singers, so it's weird, right? Because like part of the issue of making these videos is that, you want everybody learning English to have somebody that they can like look up to kind of measure, what's an American accent versus a British accent versus an Australian accent, right? Like this is all education, right? But it's just a matter of finding that right role model, that we can all, look at together, listen to together, and then kind of determine and like, duh, like British accent, whatever. So yeah. And Sanada's accent, definitely he has a Japanese accent, but like I said, he's living the dream by Hollywood producing, so you can't complain with that. It's pretty good. Naomi Watanabe, the comedian girl, the comedian lady. No. See, and then you're bringing up the other side of making videos, right? Is that there'll be somebody that's popular in America, right? And I've seen that, like Watanabe on like some show, or Lady Gaga or whatever, right? And but honestly, no. Like that is like your stereotypical Japanese person speaking English. And that's just baseline. So that's not, you can, define good, right? Like, are we communicating? Okay, good, fine, whatever. Okay. Neutral, right? But it's nothing but improvement. Like nothing. Like there's so many things to learn for everybody that I'm talking about, because even if I listen to Koki, right, I could go and list 5 things that, like, well, push comes to shove, a native person wouldn't say that. I'm just telling you, not as a judgment, but as a statement of observation. That's like the key thing. So now, for the sake of drama or filmmaking, it's like maybe I should add a little funny face to this, right? Like, oh, like when they say something weird, right? Surprising, right? Because drama, right? But yeah, there's no judgment in what anybody's saying, in the sense that, like, you can talk however you want, but in the world of education, where I'm inviting people to improve if they want, well, this is how you do it. And it's like every single day, 10 hours a day, you got to focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's your voice. And if you don't have a voice yet, then you focus on 10 hours of listening to 1,000 other voices, right? And then finally, when you get comfortable, you start mimicking people that you think might be a winner, right? Like, oh, I found a YouTuber that I like, or like you meet somebody in reality, and like, you're like, oh, wow, I met this cool guy. I remember meeting this guy, Taki was Ryoka. Because Taki, he's still, I still consider him my friend, even though we haven't talked in a while, but like the basketball Buddhist monk, right? Like his way of talking. I never could mimic that. But there was this other guy named Ryo, and he was kind of like the cool guy on the team. So anyway, I remember meeting people, and I remember that they would have a way of speaking Japanese that I thought was interesting or kind of cool. So, you know, as you meet people in reality, you get this kind of like, oh, hey, that was cool how he said that. Like, I'm watching a TV show with the Canadians just because like I've never heard that accent before, kind of thing, and it's interesting. But they keep saying pitter patter, get at her, pitter patter, which is basically you talk too much, you know, get to the point or get to work, right? So, I learned something. I'm learning English, right? Like, so are you guys. But it's all about like you just picking up like who you want to mimic and who you want to sound like, and like dedicating your entire life to doing it. Because as soon as like you develop your own personality in English, right, then you start communicating that personality with people that speak English, like with 外人ね。外人と話す予定がなかったらね、もうこのレッスン終了じゃないですか。ね。Oh, yeah. I was gonna do that. But I'm gonna do that as a live stream, Shinji. Because I was thinking about it because, well, no spoilers, but, basically, yeah. So I mimic other YouTubers, right? And so I'm thinking about stuff, and like I like the, you know, reacting to videos that are like popular on the internet. That's fine. Like I can look at stuff and like, oh, that's cool. But I was thinking about doing like a live stream version of it first, and then creating a video version later. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I was thinking about this stuff, and then I started learning how to use this software that like showing you right now. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I've been learning a lot, and basically it's like focusing on too many things at once, you don't get any progress, right? And so of all the things, to be honest, the past month I've been focusing on, you know, getting the app up and running, you know, and now that it is up and running, I can now focus on other things. Does that make sense? So yeah, no, like, yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but every time I make a video, somebody downloads the app. So it made me pause creating content because I realized that, well, if my app is broken, like, anyway, the app is totally fixed now. If you guys haven't heard, it's free, and you can look up any word in California English, learn the color system right there, right? So go ahead. And if you want to, you know, pay for the subscription, you can get unlimited search. And then you got all the lessons. You can use the whole app. Like, if you like this color system and you think it's cool, you know, go check it out. And we can't forget our sponsor, right? Which is, well, the app, which is me, but, you know, I'm also the host, you know. The best analogy that I have is that my channel is kind of like a フジテレビみたいな、まあ NHK って感じで、なんか CM って感じあるじゃないですか。他の会社の商品の CM より、まあ俺の通訳ツールね、なんか辞書どうぞって感じですね。まあもしアメリカ英語を勉強したかったらね。So to me, it's like the win-win kind of like arrangement, right? We're focusing on you getting better, at like learning speaking English. I have the tools to help you. And that's it. The only thing that you pay for is if you want to learn it faster. You know what I mean? Because like you can learn the color system right there. Boom, it's right there. But if you watch the videos, I swear to God, after 1 minute, you like learn the color. It is crazy. Here, watch this. You see this video? Anyway, you can see the videos. You learn so much faster. Like if you just watch the explanations that I give to like the different kind of like details of everything, right? So then you go through and then you just kind of like focus on the sound that you want to focus on, right? Like if you want to go here, the sound, right? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the free version. If you want to learn, then you got to get the subscription, right? But I think these rates are really reasonable. If you look at the other apps that are available from other YouTubers, have you seen them? Guys, if you want to talk about like other people, I don't know why we would, because like we can just focus on what I'm doing, but I've seen what the other people offer, and it's AI chatbots, and it's just like, okay, you want to talk to a computer or do you want to talk to a human? So you want to talk to a human, but then you just need like a tool. So if somebody says something weird, you just look up the word in the dictionary and then you make a flashcard. You know what I mean? The focus is on the human. And then the app is just like a tool. ね。だからどっちに集中してるかって感じですね。なんか人間の顔を見ながら英語聞いとるか、iPhone 見てるか、どっちか。Yeah, Tanaka-san. Shinji, sorry, I feel like yeah, まあ日本人だからいいんじゃない？田中さんってね。でもlike in America, everybody wants to use the first name, right? So, Shinji is hard for Americans, I think. There's, I don't know, but Tanaka, Toyota, I think that's more familiar, to be honest. But like Shinji, I think a lot of Americans probably say like Shinji. Hey, Shinji. 違うか. But yeah, I need to do the Android version, but I'm talking with the developer or whatever. So basically, when you do a technology, you have to do like updates every few months or something like that. So one of these months, the Android version will just be a simple step. Because at this point, with the technology and everything, it's like an absolute rewrite. We have to like rewrite the code. But with the way AI is going right now, they might get it to a point where we can just like convert the app. But at this point, because Android is a different language than the iPhone, it's like literally a translation issue, which is so ironic. I get it. But like, I can't do Android right now because it's too many steps. It's too expensive. So, yeah. But the day that like, oh, it's just like drag and drop, like then, yeah, we'll have the Android version too. So totally looking forward to it. Sunday morning in Japan, right? Better marketing during Japanese night. Yeah. But everybody's online at night. So, but when I was doing the webinar, I did it this time right now because I wanted people in America and people in Japan to be able to watch at the same time, so back when I was doing like the full webinar stuff. But to me it doesn't matter because the internet is timeless. And something that I put up 2 years ago is still my number one video, right? So it's like, I understand the power of long form content, and I'm willing, for me as the creator, to take the shot, because for me to do an hour is nothing, right? For all the reward that you can get by getting 1 million, 10 million views, right? Like that's what every YouTuber wants, right? And it's like, yeah, but no, I want to get people literally learning English to pay attention. I just don't want everybody, right? And so that's kind of the problem with where my channel is. It's like half entertainment, half education. But like, I think the entertainment part is more why my channel is where it is. You know what I mean? So when I come up with straight education like we're doing now, I think the entertainment people just don't like it as much, right? And so, yeah, no, that gets into like deep YouTube discussion, right? Is it time to make a sub channel, or is it time to keep going as is, right? But this isn't about me. I've said that. I've explained that, right? Everybody understands that, right? Yes, I have my own issues and problems and goals, right? But when I do a webinar like this, or seminar, whatever you want to call it, live stream, it is more me really talking to as many people as possible, and whoever has the questions, right? Like you do, Shinji, tonight. And I could technically do this every single day, right? But if it's just me and you, Shinji, then it's just kind of like, well, what's the point in that, right? But if it's like 1,000 people like coming together on this, right? So I think that's possible, but not with this format. This format, the one we're watching right now for you guys right now, all 6 million of you, is for you. Like whatever questions you got, like I'm 100%, 80%, because like I still have things I want to say, but like it's all for you guys, right? So if you guys want to take a conversation over this way, this is the direction we go, right? And if somebody wants to take a conversation over another way, that's the direction we go. But the point is that you use English, that you think in English and you listen to English, right? And that's the point. Like that's the only point of this particular live stream. But on another day, I have a plan to watch the kimono thing, and that will be kind of like a live listen where we'll listen together. And I don't know, like the timing of it, I'm just going to try, well, probably around the same time. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to try, or the next day, right? But yeah, because I remember way back in 2018, because I was kind of like doing lessons and only lessons, but then I noticed Maezawa, the billionaire that went to space, he was like trending or something. I was like, what? And so I did a live stream about his English, and I noticed that live stream got like 1,000 more views than a normal live stream, right? So I was like, oh, well, that was easy. So I started making videos about the famous people, and the rest is history. But this particular live stream is not about 前澤さんとか誰々の芸能人ね。今日の、英会話悟りは君の英語の声に関してもうそれだけですね。Getting you to like kickstart your English accent, right? And so this is it, 2026. This is how we're going to do it, and this is what we're going to do every day, though, right? And that's kind of like the irony of all of what I'm saying is that me as a communicator, like even if like all of you are like, oh cool, I'm listening, this is cool, right? And like I learned a lot, right? I know that 6 million of you probably needs to hear some version of this in one form or another, but it's probably not going to be like the hour-long live stream. They're probably going to just want to watch like a short or like a 3-minute video. You know what I mean? Like a long form, as they call it. So not a live stream. But that takes a lot of work in order to edit a live stream. So as a content creator, I have to come up with the most efficient way to do everything, or I'm just wasting everybody's time, mine, yours, all the people that didn't hear the good news, basically, right? So there's a lot going on, you know what I mean? And this particular live stream, hopefully, if you guys are paying attention, the Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning live stream is the one that is dedicated to you. And as we continue into the future, hopefully you'll remember that. But on the other live streams that I'm planning to do, they're not going to be focused on you. They're going to be focused on listening to a video or talking about some history lesson, because I have that video. There's a history of China and Japan in English. I want to watch that video with everybody. So, yeah. I need an assistant for sure. But, it's like economics, right? And so the overhead from, the YouTube versus the app, right? There's so many things. So it's like I can do all of it. And that's like the weird arrogance that I have. I'll call it arrogance, but I figured all this shit out by myself. I'll even say it in a more honest way, but I got deported for this, because like I had my course when I was living in Japan. So if we go back over here, basically this course right here, I developed this course down here when I was living in Japan. I just didn't know how to share the course, this California English course, right? When are you going to get it? And so I would do private lessons, and that's how I know everything and how to teach and everything. But the government needed me to work at a corporation with like 40 hours a week. It was like you had to have like a contract and like this like agreement, and I was way too freelance and too original because, see what I'm saying? So basically, I couldn't get a job at a corporate English school because I can't teach the way they make you teach. Like, it's ridiculous. Unbelievable. Those English school corporations and their lessons are such bullshit. Like, I refuse to use their book. I'm like, dude, these are college kids. Like, we're not going to use a book. Are you kidding me? Like, come on, we got to learn how to talk. Anyway, so that was always an issue. And I always knew that the course would, teach a lot of people something they didn't know. When are you going to get it, right? And eventually I figured it all out. But like, you just set up a website, you set it up, right? And you just do it. And like everything is doable. Everything is learnable. Like I go to YouTube and just like, oh, how do you do email, right? Oh, that's how you do email, right? Like, and so step by step, I've been looking for, as what we say in English, it's called independence. It's called freedom. And as I understand it, freedom is kind of that thing that happens when you just do the thing that you know how to do and results happen, and when I first started learning Japanese and I felt that surge of success, right? That feeling that like, 俺でもできるじゃん。よっしゃ。 and that confidence and that excitement that I got, right? And then when I started teaching English, I was like, guys, you're not listening, you're not mimicking. Oh my God, but this is how you gotta listen. Oh, but Shinji, this is the thing. My course, I wouldn't call it advanced. I would just say my course is for adults. But the truth is that now I have the course for the kids too. This should be the kindergarten lesson for everybody. First grade, 小1って感じですね、このレッスンって。英語から振り仮名。So now I have the full package for all human beings learning English in the future. Get my dictionary. すべての英語を学んでる人だよね。で、それも問題ですよね。だって今日本語で言ってるんじゃない？でも、ベトナム、韓国、中国、台湾、タイ、みんなの英語の名前結構それぞれじゃない？で、みんな英語困ってるじゃない？日本人と同じように。で、俺日本語でベトナムで日本語で英語の発音頑張ってくださいって言っても意味なくない？で、なんだろう、そのベトナム語を勉強する興味もないし、どうしよう。もし俺のアプリベトナムに出したかったら日本語で話すわけあるか？じゃあ日本語で話してでもそれ無理だろう。だって英語の字幕出てきてもね。じゃあ英語にしないといけないんじゃない？もし世界向きのね英語でしょ？日本だけじゃないでしょこの話って。So if I just do the conversation in English like I'm doing right now, then it's no longer just Japanese people, like Korean people, Vietnamese people, Peruvian people, Romanian people. Anybody that's learning the West Coast California English accent can come here, right? And so it's like, well, what am I doing? Am I wasting my time talking to you guys? Like all 7 million of you. And it's just like, I could be talking to the world right now, you know? 日本語好きだからさ、こういうなんだろうねいの中にいるカエルみたいなねpainted myself in a corner, I guess, but there's enough here. There's enough like mind power within this little linguistic bubble that empires can be made, you know. Sony is probably one of the most powerful companies on the planet, and there is so much all of you could do if you just spoke English, like beyond your town, beyond your family, beyond your friends. The entire planet can benefit from your knowledge and expertise and your wisdom if you just shared it. So, yeah. I know, but Shinji, these are the kind of things that like everybody should know that, you know? Like, I think that a lot of Japanese people that start traveling around the world get smacked in the face with like the reality of how hard English is when you're talking to real people in real situations, you know? And like all the training that you did in college and school kind of didn't really set you up for like success, you know? And so a lot of people, they get here and they kind of like freak out and they don't really try to integrate, or they have trouble integrating because well, one, the language, but then two, like the people skills that are necessary to make friends isn't really something you learn in like math class. like you kind of have to go outside of like school to like learn how to socialize, you know, like the playground or something. But you guys don't have that experience of like socializing in English, so you don't know how to do the small talk and go to a bar, go to a cafe and just start talking to people, right? So there's that kind of like training that like the real training that's almost impossible to teach, because like what are you going to do, put it in a book, like how to go to a cafe? Like it's ridiculous, right? But like this whole like, hey, yeah, the whole real job, if you want to get a job, like talking to people, like people do expect somewhat of a reasonable accent, right? Like it's not like 100%, right? Like there's so many different people that like people are used to listening to like various accents, right? So you don't even have to get it 100%, but I would say that whatever level you're at, you need to improve it by 30%, 40%. Doesn't have to be perfect, but like I'm telling you, if you're at 50%, you got a lot you can do that will improve your situation for you and, you know, your workmates, you know? So, but yeah, so, Shinji, it's like, what am I going to do? Because like, it's like I can say the same thing over and over and over again and even put that in a headline, you know, but like how is everybody going to hear that message, right? So it's like, oh, you got to make something about some famous person and then, you know, slowly introduce the new information to people. And so it's a complicated step-by-step process that takes a lot of organization and management, to be honest. I'm not offering the day-to-day lessons because that would be so hard to do digitally, I think. Because like, you know, you need the one-on-one. It's not just like making a video every day. Like I can make a video every day and that's just not going to be the thing that really gets you guys the results that you need. What you need every day is like an actual human to like talk to and work with, you know? Like I had my ホスト父さんね。お父さんね。まあお父さんだよね。舞鶴のお父さん。彼、まあ先生っていうか先輩っていうかさ。でも何か困ったらお父さんにお願いしてね。So it's like, well, if you guys need somebody, like I can offer that kind of, you know, but not like every day, because then what are we talking about? Are we talking like a full-time job? You know, what does that even mean? Like I'm a pretty simple person. But if this is going to be some sort of complicated thing, it's like, well, you know, what are we going to do, right? Like, so I have been finding myself in this kind of like digital pocket because with a Mac Mini, and a microphone, and a camera, you know, monitors, you can get at Airbnb everywhere you go. So like I want to be mobile and I want to be traveling around as I make content. So yeah, I mean reality is cool, but then dedicating myself to one particular like city or neighborhood, it seems wrong in the sense, because I am trying to think globally, but that level of organization is just like one step above my pay grade, and it's, ooh, how would I do it? I'm not exactly sure, but in the meantime, I don't have to figure that out, because like I've said, for me, every time I make a video, somebody downloads the app and that's all I need. So like on a realistic level. So all the dreams and stuff like that, like, oh, maybe I can set up a recording booth in somewhere in Tokyo where I'll have like a podcast mic and I'll be able to interview people that walk by on the street in Japan, and we can do that like every day, Like there's so many different things that could be done. Like I could create a curriculum for kindergarten teachers so, they can teach this color system to kids so they can get all the sounds from the beginning. You know what I mean? No confusion, more clarity. Like, there's a lot of things that I could be doing, but there's only so many things that I am able to do. I can't like force people to understand what I just said. So everything has to be one invitation at a time with, what people are willing to accept. And it's like, yeah, doing a school or doing a location, it's something that, but like we're talking now, Shinji, it's like there's probably a lot of Japanese people in America, that are in their city looking for connection, looking for some sort of like in with a local or like, you know what I mean? Trying to connect further with like the local culture, people or whatever, and having a hard time and like wondering what they should do. And like, yeah, there just needs to be some sort of like meta teacher, I guess, that just is like making sure everybody around the world is cool, And like, if anything, it would be me going around the world checking in on everybody, make sure everything's all good, right? And we'll get to that level when we get to that level. But in the meantime, all I know is that every time I make a video, more people download the app, right? So it's crazy because like right now, you see, there's only like 6 of you, right? But like even if one of you downloads the app, right? The thing is that when I make a normal video, not the live stream, when I make a normal video, like thousands of views start coming in. And so when thousands of views start coming in, then thousands of people start downloading the app. So there's already enough to do, There's like, I'm already like, an hour and a half into this conversation, and there's like so much more to do, Just imagine having a conversation with 6 million people one by one, right? Be like, okay, 1 minute, blah, 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 blah. After a while, you're going to have the same conversation over and over again, right? Because like you got to introduce yourself again. You got, well, what do you do, right? So then you start learning the patterns on like how to talk to people, right? So like literally, then there comes a point where it's like, well, I don't have to talk to everybody, I can talk to 1,000 people and each one of them will feel like I'm talking to them. Because 1,000 people are going through the same exact problem. It's crazy, but we all think we're unique. We all think we're unique, but we think like other people. Trust me. And we don't know what we don't know. But stepping into like a new frame of mind is kind of always like the challenge for a lot of people. And even on my end, doing the AI, so the only thing that the AI can really do, because I showed it the color system and it didn't understand. So, because then there's so many things, like for example, one of the things that I need to do is make a kid's book. I already made the book, but like, I don't know, like it could be better. So there's so many things for me to do, for example, right? And I appreciate like the conversation in regards to that, right? But it's like yes, and yes. But in the meantime, all of that is less like there's like, I don't have any problems, if that makes any sense. The app is ready to go. It's just a matter of people understanding why it's so interesting, and then that's it. But like, I don't want to say the same thing over and over just to the same people. Like, this particular episode is like for people that have already downloaded the app or have like sticking around for the channel and they're really interested in like what we're talking about right now. That's it. And if, you know, 5 people, 50 people, 500 people show up, then that's what we're going to do together, right? But the thing that's going to happen is when I do the listen to the kimono lady and the live stream, whatever, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more people, like 20, 30, 40, or, you know, and if you really get it going, like 100. So this one-on-one kind of conversation is going to go away. The more people that that start tuning into everything, the less we're going to be able to have a conversation. So there is an absolute kind of like ironic twist to all of this, that if I'm going to give anybody any attention and focused attention, that means like not paying attention to a million people and just focusing on one, right? So again, this kind of like Saturday night, Sunday morning live stream is that time where I focus on you guys more than anything, right? Like if you guys ask about me, I respond and let you know. But again, the point is you and your battles as you actually try to become bilingual or stay bilingual, no matter how you kind of put it, because all problems and fixes, right? Like for example, my shoulder, I know I talked about it like the other week, but there's a whole long story and it is so much better. But one of the fixes, right, is that there's this pose that I have to keep the shoulder kind of elevated for longer, right? But I have to do this like every day. But the thing is, this morning I woke up and the pain was gone. So the more you do it, the better you get. If you're focusing on the right thing, you get progress faster. But if you didn't know what to focus on, you know what I mean? So there's this just super weird kind of like ignorance loop that everybody's in. And the job of my content is to get the people that are unconscious of the fact that they don't know. You know? There's so many people that don't get it. Like on the metaphorical kind of like vibe level of like what it takes, you know? But then, I mean, like literally what it takes, the time, the effort, people just don't understand. They tap out, you know? They're like, what? This is like almost 2 hours of like fucking conversation in English? That's too much. It's like 2 hours? Jesus Christ. Like, this is boring, you know? Like, I could talk to myself for 2 hours like in my sleep, and I probably do. So what would be more exciting than this, right? And if I was to have a conversation with 60 people, I don't know if that would be exciting, because it's not going to be a conversation. It's just going to be another monologue like I'm doing now, right? So what would be more exciting than this for me is not going to be the same thing for you, you know? My goal is just to like literally imagine your guys' struggles and what you got to do and how you're going to succeed. And for sure, your individual circumstances and stuff are good, but, you know, kind of Shinji, yeah, I got to get some sleep. But, well, you do too. But that's the thing. A lot of these like industry changes, societal changes need to happen. And that's almost another story, right? Because like, yeah, like how would you the Ministry of Education or something, or the Ministry of Travel or something like that. But like, how would you get this information into every traveler's hands? You know, like, hey, we're traveling or immigrating or moving to another country, and this is what you should know before you go, right? I mean, there's companies basically just all trying to say, hey, we'll help you, right? So I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just like another guy trying to help. But yeah, no, there's major things that need to be changed, but it's just like, again, things beyond my pay grade in the sense. But on the other side of that coin, when it's like, oh, society needs changed, right? I don't have to focus on it. All I have to do is focus on changing myself, basically. And so I understand the power of the internet. I understand that these things are basically where everybody is right now. And like literally everybody, like when I go out into reality, I make it at a point to like not look at my phone, like conscious, like I'm raising my elbow. Like I don't want to look at my phone. I'm busy enjoying California, like it's sunny, it's warm, palm trees, blue sky, beautiful people, delicious coffee. I do not need to look at a phone. So as I observe reality, every fucking person in California, at least, is on the phone when they're walking, when they're in the car. Like even if they're having a conversation with somebody at the cafe, as soon as somebody goes to the bathroom, the other person still at the table hops on the phone. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, if you guys are on the phone, well, I guess I can meet you there. Why not? I got to. Good night. And thank you for taking your time. No. Shinji, thank you for taking your time here. You do what you got to do, right? Like you go on and live your life and, dream your dreams. And I'll see you next week or maybe tomorrow because I'll do the kimono one, because I have a few ideas in the comments and stuff for like, oh, review this person's English, review that person's English. So I'm going to do a bunch of live ones, make some videos, going to do a bunch of stuff this week. Well, I got my studio set up for it. So we'll see what happens, right? Should be fun. But a lot of things to look forward to. Take it easy in the meantime. And for everybody else that's still remaining, I'm going to get out of here too, because like, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, I don't know if I'll release like a video tomorrow, but you know what I mean. Get outside, tune your accent, talk to 1,000 gaijin, and then mimic winners. I mean, what else do you got to do? Today's the only day that's left as far as I can count. So hopefully you get outside, you talk to 1, 2, 3. I mean, how hard is it? Like if you really try, like on a Sunday, for example, I think like, oh, it's my day off. Like I'll talk to people, but then I start thinking about the next video. Anyway, but you guys do it for fun though, all right? Like be genuine when you do it. Get out, talk to people, mimic them, all right? Meet people in reality. If you need help with meeting people in reality, do you need me to help you? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I think about like doing like a insoku, California no insoku, and then we like go around California like talking to people. Does that make sense? But anyway, that's for another day. In the meantime, have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And if you've been mimicking anything that I've said, cool. Let me know. Like if you've learned anything, let me know. I think I check my email. If you get my email, everybody should have my email if you downloaded the app, right? You have the comment section right there if you need to get a hold of me. And I'm also on Instagram, but I don't really like Instagram because I don't like Facebook, because I don't like Meta's company. So like, whatever, but I'm there. And that's about it, guys. Seriously. Thanks for paying attention. Hopefully it doesn't sound like shit. I want to get a better microphone, but hey, improvement There's plenty of time, you know? So don't get caught up in needing this or that. Just focus on the essentials, which is conversation with real people. And that's it. You're going to get better as long as you pay attention to like the pain. You know, like I swear to God, like my back was hurting for 2 years, because I was focused on the wrong part. I was focused on the wrong pain. Long story short, like I started focusing with another sense. Oh my God, this is so genius. And then I noticed something that I hadn't noticed before. You know, there was a bump on the front part and I got hit by a car. It's a long story, but like, when you spend all your life doing the wrong thing, it is a kick in the face. It's a smack in the balls. Like, it's just really, it fucks with you when you realize that you have to change your behavior. But you got to do it. So put the phone down, go out in reality, and have a good day, okay? Guys, take it easy. Peace, and I'll see you soon, all right? Bye-bye. Have a good one. And we're out of here. As soon as I find that button, how to get out of here, we're out of here. And I think that button is right about, let me see.